Hey everyone, welcome to this tutorial on Notability. Today we are going to be looking at some basic note-taking and getting a little bit more in-depth on the Notability interface. So you'll notice on the left-hand side we have three major dividers: high school, middle school, and elementary school. I'm going to tap on my high school divider and I have a 9th grade divider, which I'll tap on here. Now I have 4 subjects. Now this is the advantage of creating your notebook structure ahead of time. Once you're in your class, you can tap on the subject and begin taking your notes. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on English. You'll notice on the right-hand side at the very bottom, there is a blue circle with a pen icon, and that is going to launch my note-taking screen. So I tap on that, I open it up, my on-screen keyboard appears, my cursor is blinking, and we're going to look at some of the things that we can do here in Notability. The first is we can indent. So you'll see that I'm tapping on indent left and right. And then next to that, we can change the font. It's Helvetica New. That's the default on my app. It may or may not be the same for you, but you can go ahead and choose a font that you prefer. Keep in mind that if your teacher checks your digital notebook, you'll want to choose a font that both you and your teacher can read. So I'm going to tap away, and I can also make sure that my font is large enough for me and my teacher to see, so I can increase the font by tapping that plus sign. I can decrease it by tapping the minus sign. I can tap on my color of my font, and I can change it from black to whichever color I want. There's quite a few available. I can further format the font by tapping either bold, italics, or underline to add emphasis or anything that I need to draw closer attention to. The 3 hearts that you'll see that have an A, B, and a C in them, by tap and hold, I have the ability to now drag items to edit the toolbar. So I can customize this to my preference. I feel as though it's perfectly fine the way it is presented to me, but if for whatever reason you wanted to move things around, you could. If you're satisfied with the way it looks, you can just tap on Done. And here's where you can pick a font favorite. So you can change the font, the style, the size, the color. You swipe through, you can see these different colors. And then each time you come in, you tap that A, that B, or that C, you'll have 3 different font favorites, and you don't have to always keep going in and changing the format. Next to those 3 hearts, you have the ability to change your line spacing from single space, 1.5, or double space. And then finally, you have the ability to have a bulleted list, a numbered list, or a checklist. So there are the basics of your text toolbar. I'm going to close my on-screen keyboard, and the last thing I want to show you in this tutorial is at the top on the left, or excuse me, on the right, you're going to see a plus sign. When I tap on that, you're going to see various types of media you can add, and this is where the power of Notability comes into play, because you can do a lot more than just adding text, and you will see that in future tutorials. But we can add photos, we can use our camera, we can scan documents, add animated GIFs, web clips, and stickies. So we will be covering those tools in greater detail in future tutorials. We also tap on those 3 dots. We have templates. We can change our view. We can get information. And of course, there's a built-in help option. And then lastly, we have pages. So we have 2 pages by default. We have the ability to bookmark a page, and we also have the ability to open or close those pages. If we tap on the 3 dots, we can add a page, cut, copy, clear, or delete. So that is the basic overview of the note-taking screen in Notability. Just going to hit that back button. One last thing real quick before I go is that undo button. So that little arrow at the top. If I want to type something and I want to undo it, I tap that undo button and it goes away. So that's definitely a helpful tool for you students to know about and be aware of. So I'm going to tap on that back button to go back. You can see I have that note from December 2nd. If for some reason I needed to delete it, I would swipe to the left and I would hit that delete button. Now, one more thing in terms of deleting, because I don't like to see students lose their work. I just closed my subjects. If I scroll over here, you can see I could delete that divider. And when I tap on the delete button, I get this warning that says if I delete the 9th grade divider, it is also going to delete 4 subjects and 1 note. Now, in reality, you're going to have a lot more than just 1 note. So just be mindful that you don't want to delete any of your dividers or your subjects because they're nested, you would lose everything else. And again, that's another reason why you want to make sure that everything is getting backed up into Google Drive. So I would stay away from deleting. Just keep everything as is. Lots of storage for you. No reason to delete. But hopefully you are ready to take some basic notes with that quick tutorial. And in future tutorials, we're going to look at all of the capabilities of Notability, and you will see just how creative you can get with note-taking. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for additional videos on Notability.